Next to the Middle East, where Israel has begun its operation to occupy Gaza City. The Israeli military has designated the whole area, in their words, a dangerous combat zone, and have suspended temporary pauses in fighting to allow people to get aid. It comes as Israel confirmed today that the body of one hostage and the remains of another have been recovered and returned to Israel. Our Middle East correspondent Adam Parsons joins me now from Jerusalem. This operation will ramp up, Adam, and could take many, many weeks.
Yes, I think this is going to be a huge, sprawling, complicated and long operation. And that is when it gets going in earnest, because what we have seen today is effectively preliminary operations. That is what the Israeli military are seeing this as. So even though we've seen significant explosions, we've seen a lot of military hardware being put into place, in their minds, this hasn't really got going yet. I think that will be a matter of, it could be a couple of weeks from now, it could be sooner than that. But they are still in a position where they are trying to get themselves ready, but also to get as many people out of that zone as possible. So they have opened what they would say is a humanitarian corridor to allow people to go south. They have dropped leaflets, they've made social media announcements. They're trying to get as many people from Gaza City to leave before they start this big offensive. A problem because there are over 1 million people in Gaza City, and they are officially facing a state of famine. So these are people who are exhausted, in some cases emaciated. They have no homes in many cases. I was in touch with somebody today who has a large family and said that his house is simply a pile of rubble. And these are people who have been shunted around the Gaza Strip already, and in a state of sometimes enfeeblement. They don't want to move again. So the IDF, the Israeli military, say that they will be going to Gaza. They think that is the last stronghold of Hamas, and they're expecting a tough fight. They think they will be having to go into tunnels, and one source has told me that it will be weeks, not months, unless, of course, there is a ceasefire. And at the moment, that seems unlikely. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insisting that one of the preconditions for that would be the return of all the hostages, living and dead. Up until today, that number was 50, 20 alive, 30 who are dead. But now we know that an operation carried out by the IDF and Shin Bet has recovered one body. That is Ilan Weiss. He was killed on October the 7th, the day when his daughter Noga and his wife Sherry were taken by Hamas. They were released in November 23. He had two other daughters who actually escaped being taken. But Ilan Weiss died on that day, and his body has now been taken by that operation. They also recovered what was initially described as another body, but I am told it is effectively body parts. Those are now being examined, but it is considered that that is not a full body, which is why the Israelis say that they are still awaiting the return of 49 hostages. So that count would now be 20 who are alive and 29 bodies. And we are, I think, at an important inflection point. There is still a huge groundswell in Israel pushing Mr. Netanyahu to try to negotiate a deal, to try to bring this war to a quick end. But there are also those, particularly in his cabinet, who are adamant that Israel needs to see this through, and that will mean taking Gaza City, an operation that will involve, well, tens of thousands of reservists have been called out, and could involve protracted, difficult, dangerous fighting and the displacement of a huge number of people.